Mr. McLeod,
Contempt for what?
Mr. McLeod, two things are going to happen. You're going to answer my question, or you're going to jail for summary contempt for not complying with the court's request. Do you, Mr. McLeod, understand that the maximum penalty for the charge against you is 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the charges.
Mr. McLeod is in contempt court taken into custody.
Really?
This hearing is absolute chaos from start to finish. Mr. McLeod is facing charges for assaulting a police officer, but instead of defending himself properly, he insists the court has no authority over him, playing the classic sovereign citizen card. He constantly interrupts, shouts, and throws around fake legal jargon, but the judge isn't having any of it. Every time he tries to derail the proceedings, the judge shuts him down. Things get extremely heated, and by the end, the judge has no choice but to hold him in contempt and send him to jail for the night. This hearing is both frustrating and hilarious to watch. It's incredible how confident he is in his nonsense, only to be completely dismantled by the legal system. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Now, let's dive right in.
Do you understand your right to a lawyer, including a court-appointed lawyer?
I understand that.
Okay. And do you wish to represent yourself instead of having an attorney?
Yeah, I'm here by special appearance, and I will be representing myself.
Okay. I'm required by law before I accept that waiver to do a couple things. One, advise you of the maximum penalties that you could face for the charges that you're in my court for. Resisting, obstructing conservation officers is a high court misdemeanor punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or $1,000 fine. There's a habitual offender second notice that's been filed by the prosecutor, which would make that a felony punishable by up to 3 years and or $1,000 fine. And marine safety operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days and or a $100 to $500 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty for the charges against you?
Well, I don't even really understand why I'm here, honestly.
Pay close attention to how composed this judge remains throughout. Despite all of Mr. McLeod's interruptions and absurd claims, the judge continues to give him a chance. It's honestly impressive how much patience he has while McLeod pretends not to grasp even the most basic legal concepts. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments if you believe this guy is genuinely delusional, or if he's just putting on an act to dodge responsibility.
Well, okay. Well, that's fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty that I just explained to you?
No.
Hold on. I can't let you represent yourself until I establish a couple things.
Well, I need to establish a couple things too, honestly.
Hold on. Well, I can't let you represent yourself until I establish a couple things, or I'm going to be in trouble. Okay. Do you understand that the maximum penalty that you could face for the charges that you're here for is up to 3 years in prison and or a $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the nature and cause of the action against me. So
what is it that you don't understand? Do you not understand how long 3 years is, or how much the fine is that I've articulated? Can you tell me what it is you don't understand?
I don't understand the nature and cause of the action against me because we don't establish jurisdiction.
That's not what I'm asking you right now. Well, I'll let you place whatever objections you want on the record, Mr. McLeod. I promise you that. Okay. Can we just go one step at a time? So do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face if you're convicted as charged? 3 years in prison or $1,000 fine?
Well, I have another question because the statutory jurisdiction doesn't exist under the Constitution. So in order for me to defend myself, could you please tell me where the published rules of conduct are for criminal statutory jurisdiction, or where I can find the nature and cause of this jurisdiction, or how this information exists?
No, I don't even understand what you're asking.
So you're saying this is a statutory jurisdiction under what? The statutes of Michigan, correct?
Mr. McLeod, I've told you what my jurisdiction is.
General jurisdiction.
The people of the state of Michigan voted to convene a constitutional convention in 1961.
Sure.
There was a constitutional convention in 1961 and 1962. They proposed a state constitution. The voters of the state of Michigan ratified that in 1963. Article 6 establishes the judicial power. And the circuit court is a court under that judicial power of Article 6 of the state constitution. And so you're here in my court. I have subject matter jurisdiction over those crimes. I have personal jurisdiction over you because you've been alleged to have committed them in our county. That's my jurisdiction. So, Mr. McLeod, do you want to represent yourself? Do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face of 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
One second.
I can see why his attorney would, Drew. Oh, shit.
Hang on, someone in the prosecutor's office is not muted. I'm going to remove you from the meeting at this time.
Oh,
Prosecutor's office is generally allowed to attend to observe. They've participated. I'm removing them from the hearing.
Honestly, she's completely right. This moment was raw and unfiltered, and you can't help but laugh. It's surprising the judge managed to keep a straight face. Seriously, though, how does something like this even happen in a courtroom? Maybe she was an older woman, or maybe she just got caught up in the absurdity of the situation. Either way, her reaction perfectly reflects what everyone else in the room was thinking about Mr. McLeod. No wonder his attorney withdrew. This guy is sitting there, flipping through a pile of papers, desperately searching for some non-existent loophole that will magically set him free. It genuinely looks like he believes he's about to pull off a miracle. Meanwhile, the judge, prosecutor, and everyone else already know exactly how this will end. But McLeod keeps going, convinced he's cracked some secret legal code. Watching sovereign citizens attempt to manipulate the system is like watching someone try to play a game without knowing the rules. By the end, the prosecutor's comment is just the perfect cherry on top, because let's be real, if you were in her shoes, you'd probably think the exact same thing.
Mr. McLeod, do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face?
One second. Okay, so in enforcement of mere statutes, judges of all courts do not act judicially and are thus are not protected and qualified by limited immunity. That's Owen versus the city. I just want to state a few things for the record since you're claiming this is a jurisdiction under statutory law.
Hang on. Mr. McLeod, can we back it? Look at me for a second. Can we talk here?
I challenge subject matter jurisdiction. Nothing can go forward until that's addressed. You're saying
I did address it and I denied your objection. I have subject matter
doesn't
jurisdiction.
exist under the Constitution.
Your objection's noted. So, Mr. McLeod, do you understand? Let me explain to you.
Sure.
Sometimes, as I said, people might want to represent themselves, but let's say they have limited intellectual capacity and they don't understand what's going on.
At this point, you can tell the judge has completely run out of patience. This isn't even savage, it's just the cold, hard truth. McLeod is fumbling through his papers, quoting made-up laws, while the judge calmly shuts him down in the most professional way possible. You have to respect how effortlessly the judge dismantles his nonsense without breaking a sweat. Moments like this remind you why the judge is the ultimate authority in the courtroom.
I have to establish that they know what's going on before I can allow them to represent themselves. I'm required to establish, do you comprehend, do you know the maximum penalty that you could face if you're convicted as a result of this charge? 3 years in prison or $1,000 fine. Do you understand that, Mr. McLeod?
So I'd like to state for the record that
Mr. McLeod,
the
stop.
court can be.
Stop, Mr. McLeod. If you don't understand it, I'm going to revoke your right to represent yourself and have an attorney represent you because I can't establish that you know what you're doing. So do you know the maximum penalty that you would face?
I've challenged this court's jurisdiction. You haven't established it yet. You said you've got a statutory jurisdiction which doesn't exist under the Constitution. I'm trying to figure out where I stand with this. So I can't answer any of your questions until you answer some of mine.
That's not how it works. Are you refusing to answer my question?
No, I'm
Then answer it. Do you understand the maximum penalty that you face for this charge?
So judges who become involved in enforcement of
Mr.
these
McLeod,
statutes.
I have other matters. Mr. McLeod,
Agency.
you know, I understand you want to object to things and you're going to be allowed to object to things. Okay.
Sure.
But we have to do things one step at a time. And I do have other cases today. I'm not going to entertain this for like a whole hour. I've got other cases going on. If you want to dig in your heels and just make this real complicated or real difficult, we could do that. And I can hold you in contempt and you'll go back to a jail cell for a while.
I don't wish to be held in contempt. I just wish to exercise my Sixth Amendment right.
That's fine.
And
So before I can let you under,
I can
before I
cite
can,
laws. I can cite laws that will show you that the exercise of a right can be converted into a crime. I'm trying to understand the nature and cause of the action against me. You're not clarifying it enough to where I can comprehend it, as you say.
You don't comprehend the maximum penalty that you would face.
I'm not answering any of those questions until you establish that this is a court of the Constitution, has jurisdiction under these jurisdictions.
I established it. I told you. You might think I'm wrong and you can appeal.
There's no
it to the
such thing
Court
as a
of Appeals.
statutory jurisdiction.
Mr. McLeod, let me make this simple for you. Do you ever watch, let me make this simple for you.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you this question one more time. One more time.
Okay.
Two things are going to happen. You are either going to answer my question or I'm going to hold you summarily in contempt. And the court officer will bring you to a jail cell and we'll talk about it tomorrow. You understand that?
So.
Mr.
in
McLeod,
contempt for what?
Mr. McLeod, two things are going to happen. You're going to answer my question or you're going to jail for summary contempt for not complying with the court's request. Do you, Mr. McLeod, understand that the maximum penalty for the charge against you is 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
I don't understand what the charges are.
Mr. McLeod is in contempt of court taken into custody.
Really? God's sake. Protecting my rights is what you said last time. Sorry.
Fucking joke.
This isn't true. You guys are
Follow
following
unconstitutional
You're following
orders.
unlawful orders. It's not
Not a
constitutional
good
at all.
thing.
Mr. McLeod's in contempt. He's sentenced to 1 day. Mr. McLeod, your sentence is 1 day in jail. We'll reconvene tomorrow and get you
This is about
notice.
the Constitution. I did nothing wrong except to question and exercise my rights.
This guy is honestly a complete joke. Watching him try to act like a lawyer when he clearly has no clue what he's doing is beyond embarrassing. Why didn't he just get an attorney? Not only is it common sense, but it's also a right under the Sixth Amendment. He could have had a free lawyer if he wanted one. He doesn't even seem to have financial issues considering his flashy sunglasses. Yet, instead of seeking proper legal help, he's wasting time flipping through papers and spouting nonsense that has absolutely no legal standing. You can literally see the judge giving him a chance at the beginning, being patient, speaking slowly, and explaining things clearly. But even the most understanding judge has a breaking point. The craziest part is how confident McLeod looks, while making a complete fool of himself. He acts like he's about to uncover some hidden legal secret, but in reality the law is very clear. All he had to do was answer basic questions, just a simple yes or no. Instead, he's facing a serious charge for assaulting a police officer, which is often a felony. And rather than addressing the charge, negotiating a plea deal, or building a defense, he's wasting everyone's time, including his own. Now, he has an extra day in jail for nothing. The judge even points out that nothing he's saying applies to his case. But McLeod seems convinced he's making progress, living in his own little world. As funny as it is to watch, there's also a sad side to this. Sovereign citizens truly believe in their made-up legal theories, even though courts have rejected them for decades. Cases from as far back as the 1990s have thrown out similar arguments, and judges are legally bound to uphold actual laws, not someone's personal version of them. A felony conviction could mean losing fundamental rights like voting or gun ownership, and on top of that, he's facing prison time. That wraps up my breakdown. If you enjoyed this clip, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you believe McLeod is actually crazy, or is he just pretending? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching and take care.